Today I'm talking about a serious performance level string, Grapplesnake Tour M8, spelt M8, which I want to call M8, but people tell me it is mate. So Grapplesnake Tour M8. It's not cheap, it's not gimmicky, and as far as I'm concerned, it's definitely aimed at competitive players who take their string setups pretty seriously. I have been hitting with it all this week, put in about 6 hours of various different playing conditions, and I've got a lot to say on how it compares and probably sits alongside strings like Solinco Confidential, Luxilon 4G, and Head Lynx Tour. Let's get into it. So Grapplesnake's Tour M8. In terms of specs, it's an 8-sided string. I guess that's where the M8 comes from in the name. It's kind of an olive green, which is quite nice, a little bit subtle. It does cost quite a bit. For a reel of this, it's £175. For a set, you're looking at £14. So it's not going to break the bank exactly, but it is more expensive than other alternatives. So it is kind of getting up into premium prices. I've set this up in my Technifibre T-Fight 300s at £56, which I'm not recommending you do that. The reason I do that is I take pretty full swings and whip through the ball. I string Confidential at £54 with a 10% pre-stretch. So I kind of took a punt on this on the fact it's a little bit softer apparently. So I put it at 56 and that has worked a treat for me. I think if you're not taking such big cuts at the ball, you could definitely drop that down. In terms of the type of player broadly, I think this is aimed for, it's someone who wants control, wants connection, wants to be able to really hit through the ball but feel like the ball's going to go where they want. They do want some spin, but probably they're wanting to rip through the ball more than play a massive spin game. To that extent, when I took this on court, I really enjoyed the fact that like strings like Head Lynx Tour, 4G and Solinco Confidential, I really felt connected to the ball with this. I felt like I could place it, put it where I wanted. It's quite a precise string, but probably what it has on top of Solinco Confidential and Head Lynx Tour, probably more similar to 4G, is that when you rip through the ball, it gives you back just a little bit more than you put in, but not so much you can't control it. So I think it's more powerful, and therefore it's a little bit more like 4G in that respect for me. In terms of spin, it's surprising. It's an 8-sided string, which I might have thought would have given me massive amounts of spin. It did give spin when I wanted to go through it, but not as much as if I compared to Confidential. Confidential is like you grab the ball and you just put massive spin on it, and that's what it's known for. So this, yeah, you got nice spin off it, but particularly on my kick serve, which I'll talk about again, didn't really get the spin I wanted when I was really going for the big spins. That may be because I have strung it tighter. Maybe those who string it looser, it opens up a bit more, you get a bit more snapback, maybe that contributes. But for me, at this tension, yeah, more I felt comfortable hitting through the ball and flatter serves. From a comfort perspective, I mean, look, I've strung it high, right? I've strung it high in quite a firm racket. I mean, I'm not sure most people would like to play this setup because, yeah, it's not like you can feel it hurting your arm, but it is pretty stiff. I would even imagine if you strung it lower, it's still on the firmer side. This is not sort of a very elasticy, poppy string that is going to be quite comfortable. So again, that's for me where it's more of a serious player who's got their mechanics down, their timing down, not pushing through the ball or hitting late all the time. Coming back though, for me, onto the serves is with the kick serve. It's not so much I'm actually looking for kick so much. What I'm looking for is the use of topspin on it to really give me a very high consistency serve. And that's where I really want to go up and sort of throw it into the court with spin, more to give me the consistency as opposed to massive kick, although I do want to develop that on. With Confidential, it feels like if you throw it up and then go over the top, the ball's going in. With this, didn't really quite have that response from it, and as a result I played a match with this, albeit it was windy and I was sort of more putting side spin on the ball. When I did hit on Wednesday night, I played a practice set of doubles. I actually switched this back out for Confidential. I just didn't have the confidence, particularly on that second serve, the kicker. So that's probably the only area this fell down for me. Otherwise, I was seriously thinking, yeah, I really, really like what I'm getting out of this. From a durability and tension maintenance, I mean, it It's definitely started to notch. I would say probably more superficial, to be perfectly honest. It's not where it's got sort of very deep notches. That's on the main string. On the crosses, they're not really notching, so the string allows, it can still move backwards and forwards. So I wouldn't say this is locked up, and pretty much most strings are notching anyway, after about sort of 5-6 hours. I do feel like the tension's dropped a little bit, but nothing sort of like you got this massive drop off and it's gone from being nice where you want it and then it's just fallen off. And plus I didn't even feel like there was a break-in period with this. So yeah, I think it's got really nice durability and tension maintenance. So in terms of who this is for, I mean, like most stiff strings, it's for an aggressive player. You've got to go at the ball and hit through the thing. Otherwise, why play with a stiff string? It's really more about controlling your aggression and power. So you are going to be someone who takes those big cuts. You want that sort of big connected feel. Maybe you're really trying to hit your spots. I think this again is going to really respond for that sort of player. But again, you are going to want to be able to handle the fact it has a firmer feel. I mean, again, even though I've strung this at 56 pounds, I'm not sure people could string it much lower if they are taking big cuts. And if you do want to string something lower and want free power off of it, yeah, I'm not sure this is going to be the string for you. I think there are plenty of other options that will give you a bit more pop if that's what you're looking for. And then again, I'm not sure this is for someone who wants to play with heavy topspin. It's got spin, but not the spinniest string. So probably for that person who's driving through the ball, but wants to have that spin on it to be able to get the ball, making sure it drops in the court. So final verdict really, I am definitely putting on this on my list of probably one of my favorite strings. I've actually, just when I've gone out and just been hitting and I've sort of thought, well, do I really need to keep playing with this or should I go back to Confidential? Because I should be continuing to practice on that. I've actually wanted to grab this out of my bag and play with this string. An interesting thing is, should I actually try hybriding this with, let's say, Confidential in the mains and Tour M8 in the crosses? Probably worth a go, to be perfectly honest. Maybe that just gives a little bit more power without losing any of the connection, but then you get the spin coming back off the Confidential. Don't know. Bottom line is, fantastic string. I understand that it's sort of just coming on, getting promoted more and more, and you could imagine that this string is going to get pretty popular because it's a really good string. Would love to get your feedback if you've played with this. I am going to be trying, I've bought myself Grapplesnake Tour Sniper and also Grapplesnake Mako. But look, love to get your thoughts if you've tried this out, maybe tested it alongside some other strings as well that you feel are comparative. Put your thoughts in the comments. What racket, what tension, what did you feel? Hey, stick your thoughts in the comments.